Welcome to Wine Vault TV, New Zealand's most passionate wine programme. And today what I'm going to talk about is supermarket wine. Again, I did one from home yesterday, and which was a pretty sad day because old MJ died, and then Ferrara Fawcett died, and then there were talks of Jeff Goldblum dying in Northland off of the Cowrie Cliffs and stuff like that, but that wasn't the case in the end, and a big hoax. So clear that up. And yeah, supermarket wine. What excites me is that you can find really, really good value in supermarkets and their wine section. Saying that, has become a dumping ground for kind of oversupply and that kind of whole wine lake stuff, and which is a real shame, because they should be offering pretty good places, but also it is helping to dry up that kind of wine glut. When you're kind of getting wine like the old Nickel Point Hawke's Bay Reserve 07 Chardonnay at $6.99, and then you get the Shingle Peak 2008 Pinot Noir from Marlborough at I think at $12. That is kind of like, obviously people are buying kind of in bulk, and we're in a recession right now, and so it's hopefully going to represent good value for money. And so, geez, you hear that? That's the sound of romance right there. So this first wine, I'll just get my tasting bucket. Is the Nickel Point 2007 Hawke's Bay Reserve Chardonnay, and this is a Morton Estate label. Gotta say, it's got a really kind of rich, ripe, velvety, tropical nose. A bit of passion fruit action there, and then I get a kind of a mineral water character, which is quite unattractive. And then a pineapple, kind of grapefruit component as well. It's a funny one. It feels quite kind of thin and lackluster up front, and it's actually got quite a nice aftertaste. You get that kind of whole tropical fruit thing. You don't get too much acid there. There's probably a bit too much residual sugar for me. It ends up being a bit sweet. It's 14%. I'm just going to give that a kind of major pass, actually. 69 points for me. The next one is the Shingle Peak 2008 New Zealand Pinot Noir, it says. I used to think it was from Marlborough, but let's see what this is like. You've got to love screw caps. Just if you're taking a young girl out and you crack that, it makes you sound like you're opening a Bell's whiskey. It should be in a brown paper bag. Now the colour's not off-putting, even though it is quite light. I can see my fingers through it fairly easily. I kind of get a kind of fairly generic, kind of almost Central Otago Pinot character on the nose, a kind of burnt cherry with a bit of spice, bit of starriness, a bit of wood action there on the nose as well. Now oak can be used to kind of mask some bad fruit, so I'm always wary for that. Because it doesn't deliver too much fruit wise, and it just falls away right in the mid palate. The aftertaste isn't too bad. Yet again, still on the sweet side, but You know, we're seeing some Central Otago wines that kind of second, third, fourth labels from these big players down in Central, and they're producing wine which I've got to say is not too dissimilar to this, albeit that it is from one region, Central Otago, most of the time. And you know, for $12, it's pretty good drinking, but it's not serious Pinot. I'm going to give it kind of 80 points, but for those on a budget, it's ideal. I wouldn't use it as a wine to kind of start off the evening, maybe finish off the evening, kind of when you don't want to pull anything too expensive out your cellar or something like that. I was hoping to be a bit more kind of excited, but I'm slightly underwhelmed by it. And going to give that, yeah, 80 points, and it gets that purely price-wise. Also, what's happening is going to try to do a Twitter tasting, hopefully kind of in July, and also a secret pack in July. So I'll be getting an email about that, or a tweet about that, or it's going to be on Facebook as well. And also, no one has found the wine yet. So and it's been raining pretty heavily, unfortunately. But so the area where it is, you pretty much got a kind of seat there, and then you've got a cabbage tree down, way down there, and you've got a kind of tea tree just kind of there, and in that kind of triangle area, and you've got kind of pretty much a, yeah, how would it be, kind of a river like that. But it is wrapped up in a plastic bag in a wooden box, and so it should be pretty safe. Yeah, and so kind of finally confirmed John Campbell coming onto the show, which is pretty funky. He's probably kind of New Zealand's biggest celebrity, certainly outside of the sports arena. So that's pretty cool. Hopefully kind of get someone like Peter Mathias on as well. And so any questions that you want me to ask, just flick them through on, or leave some comments down there, and I will endeavour to ask them for you. Anyway, thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next show.